Michael, but this is to me the scariest graph that exists in American politics today, where you have 18 to 39-year-old self-described progressives with that wild standout node, that blue left dot on the screen, where you contrast that with the same age group among conservatives, and they are among the most, if not the most, peaceful of all the cohorts on this survey.
Well, this is what's really scary. This is kind of like the second part. So if you just look at all age groups, very liberal, 8 times as likely to justify political violence as very conservative. Then you zoom in on what you're showing, and it breaks it down by young people, middle-aged people, older people. And if you look at the older people, the liberals and the conservatives, basically about the same. Liberals are a little more likely to support political violence, but it's almost the same. Moderates, the least likely of all. When you zoom back to the younger groups, something changes. First of all, the moderates and the conservatives flip. The young conservatives are much less likely than the young moderates to support political violence. They're the least likely of that age group. Then it's moderates, and then the young liberals spike in their support up to 26% for political violence. So not only is this today a major problem on the left, it's getting worse because you're looking at the young people. It's a crystal ball for the future. So I suspect Jennifer Welch is probably right about this. I, like you, had never heard of her or never seen her face before that viral clip. However, she's not just some fringe nobody. There are other interviews where she's sat down with Hakeem Jeffries, Democrat leader in the House. In that interview, he lauds her, he praises her, and she says, I've sat down with a bunch of your colleagues too. So, this is not an aberration. I think every single data point we see, the public opinion polls, the statements of the prominent liberals, and all the way down to what we were discussing at the Senate testimony, which is the actual cases of political violence, they're coming from the left. What's so amazing about those data now is that even The Atlantic has to admit, okay, political violence is primarily a left-wing problem, not a right-wing problem today. That's using data sets that don't even count all the left-wing violence. Because if you look at all of these data sets and even the federal numbers, they're not counting the BLM riots that left dozens of people dead and $1 billion in property damage. That doesn't count as left-wing political violence. They're not counting all sorts of attacks on pro-lifers.
Tesla attacks.
The Tesla dealerships. And then the incident that I was called to testify about was a campus event at University of Pittsburgh. 2 Antifa operatives who are card-carrying members of Antifa show up, throw an explosive at cops, seriously injure a female police officer. These are people who were claimed by the Torch Antifa network, Torch Antifa soliciting donations through a tax-exempt nonprofit organization for them. This is as clear ideological violence as you can possibly imagine. That incident was not counted as left-wing political violence. And so the only conclusion you can reach is that the left doesn't commit a lot of political violence when you don't count the political violence the left commits.
Interesting how that works. It just seems like, the go-to grab bag option of the American left.